Hi guys, I'm Mr. Bo, and in this week's Bungie Weekly Update we got a load of brand new information about weapon tuning and weapon balancing. Now there is a lot to cover, so I'm going to be splitting this up into multiple videos. In this video I'm going to be talking about all the changes coming to exotic weapons, and in a video tomorrow I'll be going over all changes to base weapons, so that's things like auto rifles, pulse rifles, so just the main type of weapon, and that'll be tomorrow. So let's get straight into the exotic weapon changes. Now all of these changes are going to be coming just before the Taken King, so you have to wait about a month or so before these changes actually take place, but they will be out probably a week or two before the Taken King. Now not every exotic weapon is getting changed, only a few of them, and you'll be pleased to know that Thorn and Last Word are two of those weapons. In fact, there was a graph in this week's Bungie Weekly Update which showed what weapons were being used in the Iron Banner, and as you can see from this graph here, Thorn is way ahead of every other weapon, with Red Death coming in afterwards and then the Last Word. So let's go into this. So firstly, Hardlight. The changes we're going to be seeing to this weapon is increased base stability to 80, and it was originally 65. We're going to be seeing increased bounce for the Hardlight projectiles, so that is the special perk on the Hardlight. Projectiles will actually bounce off surfaces, so they are now going to have increased bounce, and Hardlight projectiles are not affected by damage fall off, meaning a bullet close up will be the same amount of damage if it was further away. So only a few changes to Hardlight. Next up we have Necrochasm, a gun people have been complaining about for a long time, asking Bungie to buff it. While they are doing that, and the changes to the Necrochasm are increased base stability to 60, and it was originally 40. We have an increased magazine size. The Cursebringer perk will always trigger on a precision kill, and the Cursebringer explosion has increased radius and deals more damage. Now, according to a supposed playtester on Reddit, the Necrochasm has been doing very well in the recent playtests. Whether that is legit or not, we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully this gun is going to be a viable option in the Taken King. Now, moving on to the Last Word, a weapon that a lot of people love to hate and hate to love. The changes to this weapon are reduced range stats to 10, and it was originally 20, and they are reducing the stability to 20, and that was originally 30. They're also going to be reducing effective range while in ADS, so that is aim down sights. It's not going to have as much range as it used to, so it means you're not just going to be sniped across the map by the Last Word. And they are also going to be increasing the accuracy and precision damage aim assist scale when firing from the hip, which is the special perk for this weapon where you have more increased accuracy while firing from the hip. And they've also fixed bugs with hip fire damage bonus applying incorrectly. So basically I believe it's supposed to only affect when you're firing from the hip, but I believe it was also affecting when you aim down sights, and that's what caused this gun to be so deadly. So that is getting fixed, and I can't wait for that. So let's move on to the weapon that I know a lot of people want to be nerfed, Thorn. So the changes coming to Thorn are reduced base damage on the Thorn's Mark of Devourer damage over time, so that's little ticks when you get hit, to roughly a third of what it is in PvP and PvE. So the burn isn't going to be taking your health down as quickly as it used to, it's going to be a third of what it was, and they're allowing the damage over time to stack up to 5 times across multiple landed projectiles. This is a net buff for the Thorn's damage over time, but reduces the lethality of the weapon in PvP. So basically this weapon is not going to be killing you as quickly as it would do, and the burn, the damage over time, isn't going to be taking your health down as much as it used to, which is good. This means I might actually be able to step back into the Crucible. Now moving on to a weapon that only probably half the player base really use, and that is Hawkmoon, because it is a PlayStation exclusive. Of course, when these changes come out, everyone will have it, so people on the Xbox aren't going to be able to have the awesomeness that was Hawkmoon. It will be slightly less, but the changes coming to it are add a stack limit to Luck in the Chamber and Holding Aces, so that only 2 of the bonus perks will ever stack on 1 round. This should prevent Hawkmoon from one-hit killing full health players in PvP. Now I'm not really sure of this weapon because I've never used it as being an Xbox player. I'm glad that they are fixing that because I don't want that to ever happen to me in Crucible. They are also adding 2 rounds to Hawkmoon's magazine when Holding Aces is unlocked, which means that perk isn't going to activate as often as it would do. And also the Luck in the Chamber damage bonus is being reduced by 3%. Moving on, we then have Icebreaker, one of the sniper rifles which I'm sure a lot of people like to use. They're only doing one thing to this weapon, and that is increasing the recharge time of the Icebreaker's rounds to 1 every 8 seconds. It was originally 1 every 5 seconds, so you're just going to have to wait 3 more seconds so it might mean it's going to be a little bit more annoying when fighting bosses because you're not going to be able to fire as many shots in a certain time period as you used to be able to. We then have another sniper rifle, but this time it is no land beyond. There's a few changes to this weapon. Firstly, they are increasing weapon handling speed for faster time to aim, ready and stow. They're also adjusting sights to fix overlap / parallax issues while aimed. They are increasing the time decay of the master to 8 seconds, and they are adding an additional 20% precision damage bonus while the master is active. Now I know a lot of people think this gun is pretty useless, however there are those skilled players who can use this weapon effectively, and I'm sure this is going to mean they're going to be able to use it even more effectively, so I wouldn't want to come up against someone who's really good with this weapon when these changes are in place. Now a weapon which is dear to my heart is always in my special slot, and it's not actually an exotic, but it's being nerfed unfortunately, which is a shame to me. This is the Black Hammer. There are two changes coming to this weapon. Firstly, they are increasing the ammo inventory to 18 rounds, which is like cool, that's good, what I'd like to see. However, the white nail perk now pulls ammo from your inventory. So if you are unfamiliar with the Black Hammer, if you land 3 precision shots, it will completely refill your clip and it won't take away from your ammo. So that means you can basically fire endlessly if you are always hitting precision shots. So that is not the case anymore. When you hit 3 precision shots, it will actually take 3 bullets from your ammo count and put them in the gun, basically just meaning it's cutting out the reload animation. So you're not going to be able to endlessly fire on bosses, which is a shame, but I guess it probably was technically a problem for Bungie and they had to fix it somehow, so I'm glad this is the way they've done it. Moving on to the only new exotic which is getting changes, and that is the Lord of Wolves. They are going to be tripling the recovery boost bonus for allies granted by the Lord of Wolves. So the recovery bonus would grant +3 recovery to any allies near you when you got a kill. So that is going to be tripling to +9 recovery to any allies around you at that time, which is pretty cool. And finally, the big one, the good old Gjallarhorn. This is a shame. I know a lot of people are currently crying, and myself earlier when I heard this news, I didn't think it was real. Gjallarhorn is getting nerfed. Only one change coming to the Gjallarhorn, but it is a drastic one. They are reducing damage of the wolf pack rounds. And Bungie actually says this: "We strive for Destiny to be a place where a single weapon or strategy does not dictate how or with whom you spend your time. In the new world, the Gjallarhorn is still worthy of its legacy as an exotic weapon, but we hope it promotes inclusive behavior rather than exclusivity." Meaning, when you're going on LFG, you're not just typing in looking for Gjallarhorn or I have a Gjallarhorn, because people are probably not going to be wanting that anymore because it's not going to be doing as much damage. It is a shame because this weapon was beast. I've had it since the 2nd week of the game. You know, I've always had it. I know a lot of people have always tried to get it. It's just been one of those really good weapons, and it is a shame it's getting a nerf, but hopefully in the Taken King we'll have a brand new rocket launcher or a brand new weapon which will take the place of the Gjallarhorn, fingers crossed. So again, all these changes are going to be coming just before the Taken King, probably a week or 2 before. We're not entirely sure at the moment. I'm also going to be doing a video tomorrow going over all the base weapon changes, so make sure you keep a lookout for that. Let me know what you think of all these exotic weapon changes. Are you happy with some of them, or are you not so happy with some of them? Gjallarhorn. So let me know in the comments below what you think of all these exotic changes. If you guys missed my previous video in which I went over all your ideas for exotic weapons you would like to see in the Taken King expansion, you can click the link on screen or in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug and subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. I'm Mr. Bo. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.